welcome to Let's Talk About It with Xavier Fox, and I am your host, Xavier Fox. Today is my favorite day. You know what that is? It is Financial Friday because I always want to get my money right. Well, not get it right, I'm going to keep it right. You know how they say you got to always be ready so you don't have to get ready. So we're going to be ready because we have Financial Friday. And Carter is in the studio today with us with Investing Q&A and his special guest from. Go ahead and say the name of that institution.
Wargelo Financial.
There you go, because I was going to say something totally different. And
I'm
then,
sure.
then we're venturing into the world of crypto with Ron Wilson. If you would like to be a guest on the show, participate in a conversation, or advertise on the show, give me a call at 401 702 GENT. That's GENT. 401 702 Gent. And we are going to get right into it because Carter has a guest, y'all. He hasn't done that all year. So this is about to be good. So we're going to get right into it. How you doing today, Carter?
Good yourself.
I am great. I am great. I'm excited. I got my pencil and my paper. I'm about to take some notes and learn some stuff, but I always take notes and learn some stuff.
Oh yeah,
So
you can get
let's
some
then
knowledge
kick it
today.
off.
Yeah, we'll get some knowledge today. We got Mr. Boca on the line today. Somebody I trust dearly. So we're definitely gonna have some fun. And anybody got any questions, they need to ask him because he's here to help us out.
Well, I already have a question a brewing, but I'm gonna let you guys go ahead and kick it off and let him tell a little bit about himself and what he has going on, and then I'm gonna throw my question in the mix, and but you guys go ahead and take it away.
Go ahead, Bo.
Yeah, so just to introduce myself, my name is Boca Wargelo, lead financial coach at Wargelo Financial. And with 19 years of experience, I'm here to help people ease their financial mind because what people don't realize is they're the CEO of their life. They have to make all their life decisions from finances to family to health, everything.
Yes.
And what I look to be is the CFO to help them make those financial decisions and better financial decisions through financial planning, retirement planning, financial education, investment selection, and an ongoing advisory relationship. So that's the basis of what I do because people wake up in the morning, they get dressed, they get in the traffic, go to work, they work for a few hours, go to lunch, go back to work, get back in the traffic, go home, kiss the kids, take care of dinner, do all this stuff, and then they go to sleep. They didn't have a lot of time to think about their finances. You know what I mean? Help you make those decisions as you go throughout life.
Okay. Yeah, you dropped out for a little bit. So I have a question for you.
Yes.
You talk about retirement planning and all of those things. So, um, there's a number that they say you need in order to retire. And
Yes.
many of us don't really start to even think about retirement until we're probably about 15 years away from it, right? When should
Yep.
we start preparing for that? We all kind of get a job at 16. Should we be telling our 16-year-olds something?
Absolutely. Well, you know what you can do, and what I've started to do is you can put money into a kitty Roth IRA for your child for doing some work around the house. You can start them investing however much you want to invest for those children, and they have 50 plus years for that money to grow. So start before they even get their first job, start for them. But yeah, as soon as you get your first paycheck, you play in the money game. You know what I mean? And a lot of people, that's like, I play chess, and there's people playing chess in the park and in the malls, and you can choose to play chess if you know how. But if you don't, you just don't play. It's not like that with the money game. As soon as you get your check, you're paying. So whether you know the rules or not, you playing. And if you don't know the rules of chess, you're gonna lose. And it's the same thing with money. So as soon as you get your first check, yes, start planning, start learning, start educating yourself so you can win that money game.
Okay. So as we go from putting money in the bank for our kids, at what point? So then comes college. I mean, we get a
Yes,
job at 16, and you're probably gonna blow that on buying a new bike or maybe buying your first car, stuff
absolutely.
that we blow stuff on then. But then we get into college. So a lot of people have, they acquire a whole lot of student loan debt during college.
Hmm.
So, what can we do during those years to offset that? Or, I mean, college isn't for everyone. You know, you can avoid college and avoid all of that. But if, you know, college is your route, if you want to be a doctor. Now, I dated a doctor at a point in my life, and he was already in his 60s and he still has student loan debt. So, what what's your financial advice on that whole situation and how to come out ahead?
Well, on the doctor thing, my sister was actually a doctor, and she got her first, I think it was her very first job on a Indian reservation hospital, to where she worked kind of for the government a little bit, so she got a lot of stuff forgiven. So
Hmm.
for you the doctor friends, there's places that you can work that can forgive some of your student loan debt. But every debt needs to be managed. All debt needs to be managed in accordance with your financial plan. So everybody is different when it comes to that. But what I would say is that getting out of debt and staying out of debt are two different things.
Mm.
Some people, with the extra money they have, the discretionary income they have, they throw everything at their debts. The only problem is when you're right about to pay off that last debt, some big financial emergency comes up. And if you don't have any cash, guess what you got to do?
Go back in debt.
You got to get back into debt. So this is a whole plan together. It's not, you know, there's no one part of anybody finances that exists in a vacuum. They're all connected and related to the others. So you have to look at your finances holistically. You have to look at everything together. And so but yeah, everybody's different. So that debt plan needs to be a part of your whole financial plan.
Okay. Um, and at what age should we really start, ideally, to look at this retirement plan?
Yeah, if you're investing, especially in the market, the longer you have to invest, the more that compound interest can work for you. So in the beginning, early in life, you just started working. Most people don't have a lot of discretionary income. And so they're like, well, I can only put away, I don't know, $30 a month or something like that. That's not nothing. So I just won't put anything away. But what people don't realize is it's not the amount of money that you put away, it's the savings habit that you create,
Mm.
because savings is a habit and spending is a habit. So you either have a savings habit or you have a spending habit. The problem with the spending habit is the more money you make, the more money you spend.
Hmm. Yeah.
So you can't never get ahead, because it's tough enough with how everything is financially. But if you can't get ahead when you make more money, you don't have a chance. So you have to establish a savings habit immediately, or whatever age you start making money. You have to establish that savings habit with whatever you have. And as you make more money and as you become more aware of, how your saving and investing is going, you're going to start to save more money, and it's going to work out for you in retirement. So I would say start as early as possible with whatever you have. You might think it's insignificant, but it's not. Compound interest would turn that thing into a monster.
Okay, that sounds good. All right. Carter, I know that I've started interviewing your guests. I know that you had a direction that you wanted this to go. I'm gonna step back and let you take it from here.
I don't have that. I like the conversation, but I mean, I'm gonna speak to what Boca was saying. I think people don't understand that it's not the money, the amount of money, it is the habit. So I think that goes back to one of the conversations you and I had, and we talked about the Robin Hoods and the Weebles and all of those new platforms. I'm because of the kind of trading and that I do and the kind of investing that I do, I don't utilize them, but I think they're great tools for beginners. Because like you said, that compounding, I don't have a lot, but that $25 a week, man, that becomes $100 a month. It becomes $1,200 a year, and then in 10 years, that's 12,000. But that compounding of the growing could be it could be 50,000, and you
That's right.
don't realize that. And that's why those platforms were put in place for the the non the less educated individuals, but to give them a chance, I believe, to even participate in that space without having to think that, oh, I gotta have 100 grand to get into the stock market. No, that's not that's not the truth, you know. And it goes back to me having a conversation with my friend, and I sat down with her one day. We were just riding the car, and I asked her, I was like, well, why you never invested, your money into the stock market? She said she didn't believe it was for her. She thought that it was for other people, and I was like, wow. And I was like, no, it's meant for everyone. It's an open market. You know what I'm saying? So again, it's the mindset and the habits that it's the mindset and the habits that we create with ourselves.
So
So
I heard you say a spending a saving habit.
mhm.
Yes.
Is it the saving habit, or should we look at what our spending habits might be?
Well, I guess what I'm saying is this: you can tell somebody has a spending habit when you notice they don't have any money saved,
Mhm.
or the amount of money they have saved keeps going down, right? And you notice somebody has a savings habit if they do have money saved, or their savings are increasing. So yeah, you definitely have to look at your spending habits. But what I'm saying to you is, people take their discretionary income and they do one or two things with it. They either blow it, because I think I put this out today on social media. You have two choices with discretionary income. Number one, you can spend it on stuff now. Number two, you can invest it into your freedom tomorrow. But
Mm.
what you have to realize is, if you spend it on stuff now, that stuff will be just a memory by the time you would have been free if you invested your money. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people don't. And again, you're talking about changing the mindset. I mean,
That's right.
you're absolutely talking about the mindset of changing people's mindset because they believe, like you said, the more I have, the more I'm entitled to spend. And
Hmm.
you do have to check your spending because you
That's
don't
right.
realize how much money you spend.
That's right.
I'm just giving an example. Like I was working the other day, and I said, you know what? Um, I'm gonna go. I had a taste for some lamb chops from Ruth Chris. I said I'm gonna go there and I'm gonna grab a to-go bag. And I really wasn't thinking. I just knew that, hey, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go get what I want. And I ordered my food, and I ordered for me and my mom because I had to get her dinner. And when the girl brought the bag out, she said 168. I said, oh, whoa! I just spent $168
Right.
on dinner
That's right.
for two, and I carried it home to eat. I said, oh, I said, ah, man, I just look, I don't believe I did that. But again, when you unconsciously, you don't think about it, you don't realize how much money you spend. So you really have to be mindful of what you're doing because you will
Yes.
absolutely don't even give it a thought,
That happened to me, and I was so irritated because I am a budgeter. I've been self-employed for 22 years, and I raised 2 kids being self-employed, so I've been budgeting.
Wow.
And I'm an event planner, so I'm used to working on, other people's budgets to produce their events and stuff, so I'm definitely a budgeter. Man, a girlfriend of mine from high school came into town. She was here for about 2 weeks working on some stuff with her mom. We hung out a couple times, did some really cool stuff, and so when she left, I'm like, "Okay, we're gonna go up to this place I know because they're not really expensive, you know. But when
Yeah.
you're and I'm gonna take her out, but when you're paying for two, like you just said, and you throw in a couple drinks, and they only said $70, but I was thinking it's gonna be like 50, 40-ish, somewhere around in there, because the drinks aren't even that expensive. But when it came to $70, I was like, what in the heck did we eat?
Mm,
$70 is grocery for a week for me. It's just me. That's like a whole week of groceries in one day. Not even
I'm
a
with
whole
you.
day, in 2 hours.
I'm with you.
Right. So you got to think about those things, right? And you had those moments like, did I actually spend that kind of money on that foolishness?
Right.
I get it. Like I went out for a taco place. I think we spent like $60 or $70 on tacos and sodas. I was like,
Right.
like, whoa, wait a minute. This finger food here. Like,
Right.
two people finger food, and you be like, wow, man, that's a lot. So you really got to be conscious. You have to be financially conscious of what you're doing and where your money is going. I mean, I
And
think I'm
I believe in this time of inflation, because I went to the store the other day and eggs was back up to almost $5. And
absolutely.
and I'm like, what is, and I was listening to Fox Soul and they were talking about how butter is about to go up. And I'm like, what is going on here? Like the basic stuff that we use all the time, you know, it's getting ridiculous out here. So in this time of inflation, I guess you really do have to have a solid saving habit,
Yes,
because you're definitely going to be spending. We have to spend more.
that's right.
That's crazy. So, I had this question. I figure I'm just gonna throw it out there right now, because this show kind of, once it gets rolling, it goes quick. And before you know,
Let's do it.
my alarm will be going off to tell me to wrap it up. And I'll be like, I didn't get to ask my question. So I was asking you about something, and you mentioned municipals. And I thought
Yes.
I had to go to court, but you told me I didn't. And so, what are municipals?
Yeah, so the reason I mentioned that to you is you had mentioned that you have dividend paying stocks and dividend paying ETFs,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm. Yeah.
So what ends up happening is all those dividends that you get paid during the year, even if they get reinvested, they go on your tax bill. You're gonna have to pay some taxes on that, right? But municipal bond mutual funds and municipal bond ETFs are 100% tax free. They pay dividends every month, but they're 100% tax free. And some of these municipal bond mutual funds and ETFs pay like 4, 5, 6% a year.
Mm.
Yeah. So some of these are paying a lot, and it's 100% tax free. So if you get into, a situation to where your tax bill is high and you're looking for ways to lower your tax bill and you're an investor, you're used to getting dividends and things like that, municipal bonds might be a good play for that. And let me just say the reason that they're tax free. So all a municipality is anything besides the federal government. State of Maryland, we're in Maryland. State of Maryland, Baltimore City, whatever county, those are all municipalities, right? So they do the water and the sewer, and they do the trash and all this stuff. That's the stuff that they do. So when you pay into a municipal bond, you're paying money into that type of stuff, the stuff that municipalities are responsible for. So even though they're very, very stable, once in a while they go out of business. We know Detroit, not go out of business, they go bankrupt. Detroit went bankrupt over the water issue a while back. You remember that?
Hmm.
Yeah, so Detroit went bankrupt, but the federal government always steps in and bails them out.
Hmm.
So the federal government would rather not have to step in and bail them out. So anybody who gives them money, or really in this case of a bond, loans them money, they say whatever interest you get paid, we're not going to tax you on it, because it's saving us from having to bail them out in case they go bankrupt, right? Giving them operational cash flow. So 100% tax free.
And where do you find those?
Oh, I got some. You just give me a call.
Okay.
But yeah, you can get it through any broker dealer. Nuveen, Invesco, Franklin has almost every broker dealer has a set of municipal bond mutual funds.
Okay. All right.
So let's look at that scenario, because again, I think this is a conversation that people don't ever hear. So what we're saying is, okay, you are an investor in dividend paying stocks, and we know that each quarter, each month, or whatever, you're receiving a dividend payout. Now, those are monies that you never worked for, but you're able to take that dividend if you wanted to, and take that check, put it into a municipality bond, and still get an additional 4% a year on money that was. So it's like a dividend over dividend, and it's compounding each time. You at no point in time have you ever worked for anything. Your money continues to keep growing and working for itself throughout the whole process, and you're getting a tax benefit because it's 100% tax deductible. Am I correct?
They're not tax deductible, just the interest is tax free.
And this is tax free. So you created. So again, you have created an income on it in itself. just by starting out with the dividends. Your money is creating more money over the period of time, just with uh, a financial plan that you can put in place.
That's right.
So I can take the money that I'm getting from my current stock that pays dividends and invest it in this municipal bond.
Mhm.
So then do I still have to pay the interest on that money if I invested it into the mutual bond? Do I still have to pay tax on that money?
Yeah, whenever the dividend gets issued, it's taxable. So if you were, I was saying to invest not instead, but make part of your portfolio municipalities,
Okay.
municipal bonds, such that you lower your tax bill, but you still get the dividends.
Okay. Okay. I see what you're saying.
Hmm.
All right. Carter, you're sounding a little muffled over there. What's going on with you?
I have no idea. Is it? Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. I can hear you just sound like you're either far away or you got a blanket. Are you under the blanket?
No, I'm at my desk. My system has been acting really crazy lately. I am at my desk working. Trust me, I'm always working.
Okay.
I have four screens in front of me.
Oh wow. Okay. So well, I have to ask my regular monthly question. What's the hot stock this month? What should we be investing in?
And again, me and Bo were just talking. Investing is really hard to say because that's what we were talking about yesterday with how wild that swing was in the markets yesterday. It was unbelievable. We were talking about the market swung 1,400 points in one day. It was
Wow.
500 down, 900 on the upside.
Wow.
And I mean, we and you think that that would be the bottom, but it seems like that's not the bottom today. I'm looking at Tesla give back everything it took in yesterday and trying to give up more. It's down 6% today from $221 was the opening this morning, and it's trying to go past yesterday's low, which was $206. I keep telling everybody I see 185 in my eyesight, but we'll see. But an invest, I've always been the only thing I stay on and I keep watching is my lithium, and I just feel like for me, I just feel like that's something that the world is going to need. That's someplace that we're going. I do understand that the distribution channels of it is kind of slowed down some so far as you don't have people purchasing the cars as 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 much as they should be because of interest rates and all this other foolishness. So and again, I'm just sitting here with on my hands just watching, but I keep my eyes on lithium. I know that for me, I feel like lithium is the new oil. Um, Everybody is on it. I mean, tractor trailers, motorcycles, lawnmowers, every bobcats. Everybody is trying to have a electric footprint. So it's like, why wouldn't I stay there? That's pretty much where my eyesight is at.
Yeah, that's what I've been. I have a friend, I don't know, he may be listening, but he's really getting into investing now. And so I told him, I said, well, go check out that lithium and the LAC, the call letters and stuff. And of course, I sent him over to Gush. I send everybody to Gush because even though it is at, 160 something this morning, it's been up so far as 271, but it was at 4,000. So I'm thinking it's just going to creep its way back on up. But I always tell people the lithium and the LIT, the LAC, and the GUSH. Those are always my suggestions. Those are things that I'm invested in and that I feel like they're doing pretty good, even though, they do everything bounces around. Though that's just the world of investing. It's going to bounce around.
Yes, that's without a doubt. I mean, people don't, you want to always have stocks go up and down. They don't just go straight up. They don't go straight down. So again, if you don't have the stomach to invest, I tell people, that might not be something that you want to do. But if you have the, the risk tolerance. I'm not saying for you to mortgage out your house and put everything on black, but I do say that you educate yourself and learn about it, or get somebody such as Boca that you can sit down and have a relationship with that can walk you through some things that you don't have a understanding about. You know.
Right. Because there's a lot of stuff that we don't have an understanding about. And one of those things is whole life insurance. Boca, what do you think about whole life insurance? And how come we don't know more about how to manipulate that scenario? I hear so much stuff about it, how you can use that to invest, and grow your money and all that kind of stuff.
You might not like my answer to this question. So when
Uh-oh.
it when when it comes to, because most of my clients are dealing with financial needs and not financial wants, if you know what I mean.
Okay.
And when it comes to the financial need of life insurance, then term insurance is the way to go. It's the least expensive way to get yourself covered, and then because whole life insurance, when it comes to the premiums, costs somewhere between 3 and 10 times term insurance. And if you needed the money out of the policy, you have to borrow the money.
Mm-hmm.
But you put the money into the policy, right?
Mm-hmm.
So who would you be borrowing the money from?
You borrow it from yourself.
Right, but then you pay another company interest to borrow your own money. Do you know what I mean?
But the benefit of that is that it doesn't affect your credit report.
Oh no, I get that. I get that. I get that. But
Mm-hmm.
at the same time, it wouldn't affect your credit report if let's say the term policy costs $50 a month and the whole life policy costs $150 a month. Let's say instead of getting the whole life policy, you paid $50 for term, you saved $100 a month separately in a mutual fund, something like that. If you ever needed the money, you just take it. You don't borrow it, you don't have to pay any interest. And that definitely doesn't affect your credit. You with me? Most of the time where whole life or cash value would come in is people who have some kind of tax tax thing that they want to do. They make a lot of money and they're trying to find ways to save on their taxes, things like that when it comes to inheritances, because life insurance payouts are tax free to your heirs and things like that. So more on outside of a life insurance need, to invest in life insurance, because there's a mortality charge for life insurance. There's no mortality charge on buying stock or investing in mutual funds. So automatically investing in a life insurance policy is more expensive than investing outside of a life insurance policy. So very special cases, I would say, use that cash value life insurance policy for investing.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, that's a different viewpoint. I've heard so many people speak on the whole life insurance policy. If you get $100,000 policy, and once that cash is available to you, I mean, you do have to pay into it for whatever amount of years before it is actually worth anything. But once it is, you can get that money, and though you are charged, you have an interest rate or whatever. Actually, I don't remember hearing about the interest rate, but I guess you do probably have interest rate. But the thing about it is it doesn't affect your credit score. Now you may pay $50 for the term and the whole life may be 150, which I don't know if it's that big of a spread, but I guess it could be. But how many people are actually going to go ahead and invest that $100 a month?
And that's the thing. If you need help investing, if you need help with your discipline, then that might be a reason to get whole life insurance, but not for the investing itself.
Okay. Okay. I was watching this show and they were talking about how certain groups of people take out whole life policies on their kids when they're born. And by the time they're 18, then those policies are already worth a couple $100,000 that they can borrow against and, do this, that, and the other. And it gives them the freedom to move around versus if you invest in a term life policy when they're a kid and when they're 18, they still just have a term life policy, unless they are investing separately in a whole other account,
Yeah.
which, most of us don't do. If you deposit $100 for 10 months, you got $1,000 in there, and then you're like, oh, I hit 1,000. Let me celebrate.
Yeah.
then you
Yeah,
out of town blowing 2 or 300 of it, and
absolutely.
yeah. So
Yeah. No, you're right. If you need help with your discipline and you can't stare at a balance too long without liquidating, then that might be a reason for sure.
mm,
But if you do the math on whole life versus buying term and investing the difference outside of a life insurance policy, it's not even close.
okay, okay. I have whole life, but my policy is very inexpensive. I don't know how
Cool.
I got it. Because I've had it for a while now, and it's not even $50.
Cool.
So yeah. Anyway, on to the next thing. So Boca, I would like to know what you suggest as far as the stock market. So I know that Carter's into lithium and all that stuff. What are you into?
So for me, I do what I tell my clients to do. What Carter said was an absolute key. Risk goes down the more your knowledge goes up,
Mhm.
right? So it's very risky if you don't know a lot about it. And like I said, a lot of people they don't spend a lot of time, either have the time to spend or choose to spend a lot of time getting their knowledge up on individual stocks and markets and economies, economics and things like that. So the easiest thing to invest in is mutual funds, because somebody else picks the stocks. Somebody that went to Harvard, Wharton, whatever, this is their job. So they end up picking the stocks for you. And you always have multiple stocks. You never have to worry about one stock destroying you, by going out of business or going down 50% or something like that, because
Mhm.
there's multiple stocks inside. So I tend to do that. Now, outside of my mutual funds, Carter and I were both into options and things like that. So we got some options strategies and stuff like that we use. But the bulk of my portfolio is mutual funds. It's the simplest way. I don't really have to worry about the ins and outs of the individual stocks. And over long term, I know I'll get market returns. So
Okay.
that's I'm pretty simple.
He's
Okay.
safe. He being safe.
He's
that's
Yes,
safe.
that's
Okay.
a yeah. That's a, and again, and for me, it's like, nah. I'm gonna take one. And again, that's why I say the market has something for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, and again, uh, mutual funds and dividend stocks. I think they're the safest route that you can take, because again, regardless if you don't with those dividends, you're still going to receive something back,
Mm-hmm.
regardless of there's always going to be exchange between the two y'all. Even if the stock doesn't go up, they still send you a check. I think
that's
if the
right.
stock goes down, even if
If
it
it
goes
goes
down,
down, you
they
still
send
get a
you
check. It's just a smaller check.
right,
Absolutely.
right.
Yep.
So again, and then he's saying, all right, I don't have to do. I'm gonna take the mutual fund because I can allow someone else to do the research on that company. That I don't have to do the channel checks. I don't have to go in and look and find out what is the market cap, or what is addressable market cap for this company. Who is the leadership team? How is the product when it's sold to, or service when it's sold to the public? So he's alleviated himself from all of that. Me, I want to find out everything. I want to know who is who. Is that guy a fraud? Is his brother in cahoots with this one? I want to know, and that's why I always keep digging and digging and digging into stuff. Because I have, at the end of the day, I have to know everything, like the ins and out. Like I was telling a friend last night, and I don't. Maybe I'm just, and again, it goes back to our risk tolerance and the things that we program ourselves to do, because for me, I'm in construction and trucking, and I knew nothing about plumbing. I know nothing about plumbing. I know a little bit about plumbing. And I was doing my project, and I wound up calling these plumbers, and they kept saying to me they wanted $3,500 to do my house. And I kept saying, where? And I kept saying, why? But I should have been saying I was actually paying them for their value, right? But I
Yeah.
just couldn't see the value in them at that point. And I'm saying, you know what? Let me research this, and I ended up doing my own plumbing, because I had to know. I was like, well, what is his value coming at $3,500 to come in here and use some PVC pipe and some glue? It just did not resonate with me,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So again, it all goes down to you know, your personality, what do you like? Because again, I'm the guy that I don't want to get stuck and I gotta rely on someone else to dig me out of the hole.
Yeah,
So, you
and
know,
let me add this too, Carter, to what you're saying is that, even if Carter makes a recommendation, which you can see how much time and effort he puts into, research and things like that. Even if Carter makes a recommendation, you got to follow up with your own research on that recommendation to know when to get out of that stock too, or when to, pare down your investment or when to put more in and things like that. So it's like once you get it, that's not the end all be all. You're still going to need your research and things like that to make sure you're doing the right things with your investment as time goes along.
absolutely, absolutely. And that's a key. You gotta always do your own due diligence in whatever you're investing in, whatever you're doing. It's not don't. And again, if I even if I had a broker, I would still go behind him, and I want perspectives. I want to read it. I want to know each and everything about the fund, the company. I need to know everything. So again, Xavier, we went back and forth with a young man about XRP, and I'm loving to hear Ron when he come on at two. But I understand, and I sat down with my friend the other night, and we were talking, and there was a situation where they are beating the government. They're beating the government, and I mean the owner Brad Gallhouse, he came out and he was talking, and she said, "Why did he come out?" I said, "If you notice throughout the whole period of them fighting with the SEC, he never said anything, right? It wasn't until the moment that he knew and had clarity that we are in the right and I have nothing to worry about. So now I'll come out and I'll speak." So again, you know, I have to watch and understand the language of the leadership. And so far as him being a leader of the organization, I feel comfortable because again, he sort of kind of gives off this energy like what's the guy that had Apple? What's one that passed away? Um,
Job?
no, the last one that the actual guy. I can't. What's
Yeah,
his
Steve Jobs, she's
Steve
right.
Jobs? Yeah, Steve Jobs.
Job. Yes, it.
He never came. If you ever watched him, right? You never caught him on CNBC. You never caught him in our opening. You saw him doing events for Apple with inside Apple events. You never saw him coming to CNBC because he didn't have to sell anything. What he had, it sold itself. So when you see a leadership like that and you recognize that, you say, you know what, I'm a ride with this because again, this is what they do. So allow people to do what they do. And I said, you know what? And she was like, wow. She said, you know what? You did say that. I said, yeah. I said, he's never going to say anything until he gets clarity on what is going on. He never spoke out against the case. He never tried to come on CNBC to talk to somebody to talk it up. He stayed his course and he said, we're going to be transparent. We're going to give out, we're going to, we, from the start, we have been transparent from the beginning and we're not going to deviate from that. And I said, you know what? I'm buying that. That's what I'm buying. I'm buying a sense of knowledge, understanding of what they are developing. And I said, I'm going to be a part of that. So again, that's just doing your due diligence on, and again, I like the team. And I like also what the product has to offer. This is a product that has um, liquidity, but not only with that, it's a bridge between everything. I mean, it you can change gold and the dollar and silver. I mean, it works for everything. So why wouldn't I buy it? Why wouldn't I be a part of that? That's just my opinion. But
Okay.
I tell people that they need to go and do their own due diligence and see if they seeing the same thing or what do they believe they see. They may see a crack in it. They may see a crack in the cement. I don't know. But I'm saying this is why I like it. And I had to do my own due diligence. I couldn't let nobody tell me, oh man, that's a fraud. Okay, it may be a fraud to you, Okay.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You
And
know.
so as Boca was talking about mutual funds, because someone who went to Harvard is researching that stuff and they're making, the right decisions and all that, so you don't have to worry. And for me, just like we talked, you said in the beginning, you keep your circle small. So when it comes to my money and investing, back in COVID times, I had time to do stuff. I don't have that kind of time no more for sure. I got a bunch of stuff going on now. And so my circle is small of people that I listen to because I know that they're sitting in front of four screens. Or I know that
Right.
that's how they live their lives. Like Ron
Right.
is so into the crypto world. He could tell you not only about the coins, he could tell you about all kind of stuff in the metaverse. And he's just really into that whole thing. That's just like where his life kind of is now. So I know that he knows when he says something, I listen to him. When you say something, Carter, I listen to you because I know what you're doing over there. You
Right.
know, I know what you. That's why I asked you to be on the show because I know that when you say something, the majority, probably 90% of the people who are investing now don't do as much research as you do.
That's for sure.
you know? So when you say, yep, okay, this is a long term hold now, X, but this is what I'm looking at here. And so when you say it's a long term hold, that means go buy, this is what it means to me, go buy the stock and then just go on about your business.
Yep.
And that's what I do. I haven't looked at my LIT or LAC. Probably, I think I looked at it maybe once or twice since I got it. And I've had it since the beginning of this show, probably when you started talking about it, when you started
Mm,
telling me about it. I bought it way back then. I don't really look at it because you said it's a long term hold. So
yep. I mean, and again, but you just had to understand trends. I mean, and again, like I said, my background now, I always look at like you have to see it when it's taking place, and you have to want to capitalize off of what the future looks like. It's not about today. It's about tomorrow. And a lot of people get caught up like, okay, I want to invest my money and I want to be a millionaire overnight. I don't know too many people that's done that. I
unless
really
they
don't.
won the lottery.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't know too many people that have done that. So, um, you just have to believe in what you're investing in, and also do your homework and do your due diligence because you know what the world needs. Money is always made by solving a problem. You don't people make money from solving problems. They don't make money just because they make money. They make money from solving. There's a problem that has to be solved. Guess what? We have an environmental problem. We have a problem that you out here with your V8 motors polluting the air. You're killing the earth, and there has to be something better when it comes down to energy and getting your cars around and transportation. So, okay, why wouldn't I want to be a part of that turn of the environment? I need to be a part of that.
Hmm. So on that note, I just saw an article the other day, which was ironic because I had a guy on who is an investment analyst,
Mm-hmm.
and he had just started. I was actually talking about lithium,
Mm-hmm.
and he said that he wasn't sure about lithium because I guess he's not sure what these flying cars the flying cars are coming. I read an article and they showed a little video. The car is flying now.
Exactly.
And so he was saying the flying cars are coming, so he wasn't sure about the lithium. Have you done any research on the flying cars? What are they using?
No, I haven't. Um, I just don't know how that. And for me, flying cars, that means that one or two things. Either these things are going to be autopilot, or we'll be training a lot of people to fly cars. So,
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
so yeah, I have to weigh that. Like, that's a great idea. I'm not saying that it's not, but give me. I would have to go and find out the backstory. Is this thing auto drive? Is it autopilot? Okay, if it's not, how easy is it for the average Joe Blow to fly that? And what does that look like down? What does that look like later down the line? Because then that could be a specialty item because that may only work for someone who's wealthy and has a pilot.
It
That,
sounds
that
like it's going to be a military thing first, because he also said that they actually have jet packs that they're
it's flying around. So guy got a jetpack. His father was it was a I can't remember the guy's name. I've been watching this a jetpack that this one guy has came up with. Um, and they was showing how he can get to the top of the mountain in like I think it was in seconds. Like I mean, just he up there. And but again, you're talking about something that you have to spend a lot of time training people on that. I don't have to spend time with training people on driving a car,
right.
but I will have to. And again, I'm not saying, and then I'm not saying. You know, my biggest worry for me, if it's not lithium, it would be natural gas because when I look at it, you have two of the extreme. You have a lithium battery that you have this electric car that gives me 400 miles in range, takes 45 minutes to an hour. And if you're not on a fast charger and it's not Tesla, it may take 18 hours or longer to charge.
Oh Lord,
Yeah.
that's a snafu.
Yeah, so let's talk about it. So let's go back to show you what I'm talking about when you do your home and your due diligence. So you have this electric car, like I said, Tesla has their superchargers, 45 minutes, cars charge, you're getting roughly 400 miles to the charge. Now, what did come that I saw, I was like, ooh, natural gas cars, hydrogen cars, right? You can walk up, you can plug up to a gas station, you can go to a gas station, put the hose on, 3 to 5 minutes, the car's filled up, you're down the road. So, which of the two will be in high demand? I think that people will be more susceptible to take the electric car because of the convenience of being able to do those chargings, that charging station at home. That's just my opinion. That's just what I think. But that hydrogen car, it sounds daggone good because again, you're talking about that puts me back into the range of what the normal car does. You go to the gas station, you put the knobs in the tank, within 3 to 5 minutes, maybe 3 minutes, you're full. You're on a trip. You put the nozzle in, you walk inside, you buy your potato chips, your cookies, your sodas, you come back out, car's full. You're down the road.
Mm.
That's not that is not the story of a electric car. But I think, and I, I'm not sure, but I believe there's some kid somewhere that's designing something to go on that roof of that electric car that will charge itself while you're driving. So
Solar power.
there you so again, so I'm saying which is the list of two evils here? You know,
Mm.
electric is it this hydrogen car or is it electric car? So again, there are some things that are going to happen that we need to, we need to research ourselves because what the world of yesterday is not the world of tomorrow,
Right,
right? So I'm looking for the world of tomorrow. What does the world of tomorrow look like for my kids?
right.
So, and again, I just always do a lot of research and homework and just look at stuff and say, wow, okay. And I got to weigh the pros and cons of it, to make the decision.
That is interesting. That is so interesting that you said that. And I hope that some young person out there with a scientific mind gets to hear you say that, or somebody tells them. And they're right, like you said, there may be someone right now working on that, but that was such a great idea. if you could invent that, I'll invest, man.
Yeah,
You put
but see,
Me
something
too.
on the top of the car
but
because
don't,
solar power is, they're putting the solar panels on the roofs for the homes to keep them heated and stuff. And if you can turn that sun now, if you get a whole lot of dreary days, I don't know, you might be in trouble. You can't go nowhere.
yeah, but again, you still can plug in. You still got the opportunity to plug in.
Still can plug in.
You may not get the runtime because of the sun is not out, but hey, I mean, and again, that might put you from okay. And I used to drive a car without charging it once a week to now maybe having to charge it 3 times a week, right?
Wow.
But again, when you look at so what I'm saying is I I have someone that own a Tesla. So when I get in the car is made out of glass. And I'm saying, why is he designing this car like this? He's designed this car with a glass top. So will it be later down the line there will be solar panels in this
Mm,
roof, right?
mm-hmm.
I don't know. So while you sitting outside in your car, you in California, your car's parked. While the car's parked, it's charging itself because of the sun,
Mm-hmm.
throwing power, right?
Carter, if we smart enough to have this conversation has been had amongst those who are doing it.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
But again, you know, I still can't, when it comes down to the flying car, hey, listen, um,
Well, they got it.
they,
They,
they they have it. I'm just saying to you, if we don't have pilots to fly planes now. So you telling
right,
me, I
right.
don't think everyone in America fly planes. It's a great idea, though. I mean, it's a great idea. And I'm not saying that, you know, 40 years or 50 years down the line or 100 years down the line, that may be the case that they could be like, okay, well, yeah, we could make everybody a pilot, but we can't put these things on autopilot. So all you gotta do is hit a button. Okay, put in your address where you're going. It automatically calculates the direction of what it take, the flight plan, and take you there. But what does that cost? Is that cost so that something that everyone can afford, or is that something that only the elite can afford? So again, I want to go where the mass people can.
Right, right. But I was telling my friend about the flying car, and he said we're gonna all have to get bunkers and something because those cars gonna start dropping out the sky.
Yo, that's hilarious. Can you imagine a car falling on you?
So now you're not gonna get hit by a car. Just gonna crush you,
It's
right?
just
You're
gonna
right.
yep,
Yeah,
yep,
but we cannot say that we cannot say that scenario won't happen. And again, you think that, and again, you sit here and say, "Nah, that could never be." I mean, let me tell you this. I remember being 10 years old, sitting in a friend of mine's house, watching television, and they were saying one day you would drive your car through the toll booth without stopping.
yep.
At a young age, I had no understanding of what that looked like. Guess what?
Mm-hmm,
Doing it today. I'm 51. It was 40 some years ago.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
It's called Easy Pass.
Yep. It's just like our cell phones. I remember when I was a kid, they were talking about, yeah, one day we're gonna be able to be on the phone. You're gonna be able to see who you're talking to, and I'm like, how on earth is that gonna happen? Well,
We
now
do,
I do it every day because I
we do,
talk to my daughter in Dallas, and I can see my grandkids and stuff.
yeah, we doing a Zoom call right now. Everybody
Yes.
got capabilities. And again, understand when there's a trend and when it's the beginning. Voice to text. I can take you back to this company called eDigital. eDigital was a company that they were coming up with the technology to do voice to text. So when you spoke, it was only meant for doctors for dictation of when they would. That's how they were selling it. The doctor would speak, and rather than him having to write notes, it would type it up. It would type it up for him. Well, guess what? We use it every day.
Mm-hmm.
Every day.
And text to talk. I
Text
mean,
it.
talk to text. Yeah.
Yes. I remember it when it was a $3 stock. I think someone purchased them and went out of. I think somebody actually brought them, brought the technology, and they closed the doors. But they were the ones that started the technology, and that's normally what happens. Somebody has an idea, somebody sees it, they come by and they get it, and boom, gone. You know. So thank
So one last thing I want to throw in here.
you. Hmm.
The guy, the investment analyst, his suggestion was that people invest in things related to food, clothing, shelter, transportation, and communication. What do you guys think about that?
Absolutely, I agree with him.
Agreed.
I
Agree.
100%.
Okay.
You don't go. I mean, I can't say you won't go wrong, but you on the a good path because all those things you spoke about you need.
Right. That's what he was saying. These
Mm.
are things that everybody's going to need. So you can't really go. You
Yeah.
can, but you can't go too wrong. You know, I got AT&T. It pays dividends too.
Yeah.
Yeah. One
Yeah.
time it paid the biggest dividends.
Did
Uh-huh.
it?
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. I think AT&T still pays the highest percentage. It's the highest
Oh, they
percent.
still pay the highest. Okay. Because I
Yeah.
know they downgraded not too long ago.
Yeah. Well, okay. Let me say it this way. When I did my research, when I bought it back in COVID, they were
Hmm.
still the stock that paid the highest percentage of dividend.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's my communication. And I guess my lit and my lack is my transportation.
Right. You got to diversify yourself. Exactly.
Absolutely.
You
Because
need
if
to, you need to diversify
anything takes
yourself.
a hit, I don't want to go under just because one thing took a hit. I got stuff all over the place.
There you go.
And what you guys are saying is so true. And you just if you invest in the US economy as a whole and you're diversified, you can't go wrong because people come here to make money. The government makes sure that people can make money. You know what I mean? And if something happens that the companies are not making money, there's something's going to change. So you know, if you're living in America and you're investing in the American economy over time and you're diversified, you've really got nothing to worry about. You can't say, 100% chance because nothing's 100% chance, but that's as close to 100% chance as you're going to get.
Exactly. Exactly.
All right.
Diversification.
All right, Carter. So, like I said, it goes fast. We're 2 minutes. We got 2 minutes. You want to wrap it up? What's your final thoughts and your final words and all of that stuff?
And again, as I always end up, I tell everybody, always do your own due diligence. Don't take anyone's advice to be your last, you know, answer. Just be careful, understanding what you're investing, and again, with like Boca, have a plan.
All righty. All right, Boca, you have any final words?
I just want to thank you so much for having me. And I want to clarify, I don't know if it needs to be clarified, but when I was saying if you need help with, discipline, I was talking about a person, not you. So
Oh, yeah.
I just wanted to make that clear.
Oh, no, I didn't take that personally at all.
Perfect,
I'm
perfect,
one of the
perfect.
most disciplined people that you can ever
Amen. Amen.
meet. Yes. All righty. Well, that wraps up this show then. Thank you, gentlemen. Thanks, Carter, for bringing Boca on, and thanks, Boca, for being on the show. I really enjoyed it.
Thank you.
Awesome. Talk to you guys later.
All
All
right.
right. Okay, so today is October 14th. If you are listening to a replay of this show, join us for the live shows on Mondays from 7 to 9 a.m. and Thursdays and Fridays from 12 to 2. So we are going to take a short break and we